we need to talk about MLMs. It boggles my mind that in 2025, there's still such predatory business models that exist in this world. And I want to play even a tiny part in making sure that less and less people take part in them. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what MLMs or multi-level marketing businesses are and why, objectively, their business model is set up to make you fail. Before we dive in, hi, I'm Susie. I'm a finance director, a business owner, and an investor. And on this channel, I talk about what it feels and looks like to own a business that actually makes you happy. If this is the kind of stuff that you enjoy, hit subscribe. First of all, we cannot talk about MLMs if we don't understand exactly what they are and how they work. You've probably heard of a friend or a friend of a friend or a friend of a friend of a friend who has started a business and maybe they started selling essential oils or skincare or supplements or weight loss products. And they're posting online about financial freedom and about how amazing it is to have joined this business where they can work from home and earn a full-time salary on part-time hours. And if you want to be as lucky as they are, you just need to join their team. Chances are that this person is working in an MLM. And again, MLM stands for multi-level marketing. And they're sneaky businesses because on the surface, it looks like just another sales job where your responsibility is just to sell a product to other people. But if you peel a layer off this initial picture, what you're actually pushed to do in these businesses is to recruit other people within your team. And then they recruit others. And if you actually look at the business model and how the people actually joining MLMs earn money, the key here is that people joining MLMs don't only earn income by selling products and gaining a commission from those sales. Most of their income actually comes from recruiting people who recruit other people who recruit other people, and every commission that they earn trickles upwards. The key here is that the income that you earn in an MLM isn't just based on sales commissions. You also earn from the sales of the people beneath you. And that's why it's called multi-level marketing. The real money in MLMs isn't earned by selling the product. It comes from building a team beneath you. You are encouraged to convince people to join your team because the more people you recruit and the more they buy or sell, the more you earn. That's why so much of the training and the motivation in MLMs is really focused on building your downline rather than actually just selling the products to customers. And exactly this is what makes MLMs different from other sales schemes such as affiliate sales or commission-based sales. Those are single-level marketing schemes because the only people earning from the sale of the product is just the person selling it. And obviously, the parent company who makes the product. There's no downline to build, and you make no money from encouraging other people to join your team. This model means that the grand majority of people joining an MLM will lose their money. And this is why. First of all, if everybody aims to recruit 6 people below them in the MLM scheme, they would run out of people in the world after 12 levels. That's just maths. There literally aren't enough people in the world to join an MLM scheme for more than 12 levels. There aren't enough people in the world for everybody to earn money. And essentially, you are recruiting your own competition. And so this means that only the people who got in early and are at the very top of the pyramid actually make good money. Everybody else will just be fighting to recruit their own competition, and they will struggle to recruit people that will make them money. That's why you see people messaging their high school acquaintance after years and years of not talking to them, and then kind of like slyly factoring in, hey, I just joined this business, why don't you join? It's an amazing business opportunity, etc., etc. Everybody in the scheme is desperate to recruit. So you might say, but what if I don't recruit? What if I just focus on selling the product? Is that not enough for me to earn a living? No, it's not going to be enough, allegedly. No. First of all, if you look at any compensation scheme in MLMs, they're going to be very difficult to understand. For example, this is Herbalife's compensation scheme. It is 142 pages long. If it takes you 142 pages to understand how you get paid, red flag. imagine I'm holding and waving a red flag. It is extremely difficult to really understand what you're agreeing to. And also, products in MLMs tend to be overpriced compared to normal market prices for those products, because the price has to cover the commission to the seller and also their upline's commission. And also, for the very, very vast majority of MLMs, the products are also very poor in quality. There have been many scandals out there. For example, there was a jewelry MLM who had lead in their jewelry. And also another MLM called Black Oxygen Organics, they had to close down because they found toxic materials in their supplements. And therefore, it's very hard to find returning customers if the quality of the products is so low. And how it works is, according to the level of your sales and how many people you have in your team, you upgrade in level and you rise in ranks and you earn higher commissions. And to stay active within those ranks month on month, you have to continue to buy inventory to qualify. You have to continue to hit the sales quota to get the bonuses. And so what people tend to do when they're high in rank but their customers are dwindling, they buy their own inventory as if they were the customers. Because these companies, they don't care who buys the product as long as the sales representative hits those sales targets. And so the people at the bottom of the pyramid are the main customers of the company. Income disclosure statements from MLMs themselves, they show that most reps make little to no money. And actually, a very large chunk of reps actually make a loss. And only the top 1% or less earn substantial income, because the ones at the top have the largest downline. Look here at LuLaRoe's income disclosure statement. This is something that they have to release by law. You can see that the majority of people in LuLaRoe had a profit of less than £5,000. And look at how many actually made a loss. 20% of reps at LuLaRoe made a loss of up to £5,000. And only 5% make a profit that is higher than £50,000 per year. And yet, this job is sold to you as the ticket to freedom and the ticket to financial freedom and the ticket to having more time and passive income and all of that stuff. These are all lies. This is why it's allegedly impossible to make a good living out of just selling products in an MLM. You will need to recruit a lot of people under you to make a decent living. And even then, you're very, very highly unlikely to get the 6 figures income and the financial freedom that you were promised at the beginning. So the business model of MLMs is basically a pyramid scheme. And many people who defend MLMs say, well, surely the company that I work for isn't a pyramid scheme because pyramid schemes are illegal in most countries. And yes, that's true. The difference between an MLM company and a pyramid scheme is that a pyramid scheme doesn't have a product. A pyramid scheme is basically an elaborate Ponzi scheme where people ask for investment and then ask the investors to recruit more investors. But actually there isn't a product actually that they're selling, whereas MLMs always hide behind selling a product. And in fact, quite a few of them in the US have been closed down because they have been investigated and it has been found that actually they are pyramid schemes camouflaged as MLMs. For example, a company called Burn Lounge was closed down in 2021 because it was basically a pyramid scheme. So the reality is that the line between MLMs and pyramid schemes is very blurry. Most reps spend their own money to buy starter kits and then to maintain their monthly sales targets than what they will ever make in commissions from selling products. And the odds of making a full-time income are staggeringly low. So while the MLMs that currently exist might tick some boxes on paper that allow them to be in existence, it doesn't mean that their business model is one that actually works. But I think that the most horrible thing about MLMs, on top of the fact that it is statistically and mathematically impossible to make a full-time income working in them, is the emotional manipulation and arguably cult-like tactics that they use to lure you in and keep you in. At the beginning, sales reps that look to recruit you, they love bomb you and they give you a lot of attention, and then they invite you to live events where they sell you the dream of making millions and millions of dollars or pounds or whatever, and you get actually euphoric in believing in that dream. And then soon enough you will realize that it's incredibly hard to keep up with the level level of sales and recruitment that you need to make ends meet. And then you are told by your upline that if you're not achieving what you set out to achieve, it's your fault. You're not working hard enough, that you're not putting 100% of yourself in it. And all of a sudden, you're under so much pressure to deliver and make sales and recruit people. And the part-time hours become full-time or more. And you're told to buy expensive things so that you can take pictures of them and then post them online so that other people can see the amazing life that you're living and can be tempted into joining your team. You're taught all of these tactics so that you can recruit the number of people that you need to recruit. And what's really twisted about this is that at the beginning, you are a victim when you are being recruited, and then you are taught to be the predator. And you're taught to depict on social media this aspirational life that is really just a facade. And then maybe if you're lucky enough, you realize that this is just a massive scam. And then when you try to leave, the people that were your friends before suddenly say horrible things about you behind your back, and you just become an outcast for the community that was so happy to have you at the beginning. MLMs love bomb you at the beginning of your journey with them, but then your upline will put more and more pressure on you to deliver on the sales and on the recruitment. And if you don't achieve these unreasonable targets, then it's your fault. Then you're the failure. It's messed up, it's manipulative, and borderline abusive. Being aware of these predatory business models is the first step to make sure that you don't fall prey to them. And you know what? I want to be very careful about voicing that I feel for the people that have been roped in MLMs. It really could have happened to me. It could happen to anybody. If you think that you would never fall prey to something like that, then that is a sign that you are still vulnerable to them. Being involved in an MLM has nothing to do with how smart you are, how clever you are, or anything like that. What they do is they target vulnerable groups of people that want to find a higher purpose in their life, and then they sell them this dream of like infinite money and just a couple of working hours per week. And isn't it just an amazing dream to believe in? Isn't it just amazing to believe that if you just join this company and you just put a little bit of work at the beginning, then you can build this business, these like 6 figures annual income business by just like selling things online and just like being on social media. It's a very tempting dream, and the tactics that they use to lure people in, they work. We shouldn't judge people that join MLMs, and certainly none of us are above them. But we need to stay absolutely vigilant and be careful about who we trust. If someone sells you easy money, it's probably not what it looks like on the surface. So next time that your friend from high school who you never spoke to in the last 20 years messages you and talks to you about a great business opportunity, just, take a step back, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this a genuine message? Or is this person trying me to sell a dream, to sell a dream, to sell a dream to someone else? If this is a topic that interests you, I'm going to put in the description some links to resources that I use to educate myself on what MLMs are. I also really advise watching on Amazon Prime Lula Rich. That's, I think, a 4-part documentary on LuLaRoe, which is an MLM in the US. And also I'm going to link you to content creators who are advocating against MLMs. Honestly, the best thing that you can do is to read up and listen up about the topic to make sure that you aren't vulnerable to MLM's predatory tactics. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about MLMs. Please hit like and subscribe to help with the channel, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!